that theme music!
Negative, it's just a biohazard issue.
Don't mind me. I'm just testing some audio before we get rolling in the Treehouse today. It is time to leave your worries outside and join us here in the Treehouse. I'm Dan O'Malley along with Trey Trenholm and Raj Sharma. Welcome to Friday number 2 here in the Treehouse.
Yeah.
Where it's the special end of the week episode that we now do weekly for the second time ever. And we'll continue to do it until we either don't feel like it or we die. Whichever comes first. That is where we get the events of the day to carry you into the weekend and ultimately feel better about yourself because hopefully you were not the subject of one of these news stories.
Amen.
You actually, Dan, and I think we're good here, but you left a third option out of reasons why we couldn't do this, and that would be incarceration.
How dare I forget one of the other major arteries that tends to get ruptured in this show. Did you notice that on one of the reels I posted? I think it was the reel I posted on Monday. This is proof that no one reads the captions on those things, even though I put forth probably too much effort into them. But I said laughter. They say it's the best medicine.
Yes.
And then I mentioned, what was in the show. And I said, warning, like they do like the doctor warnings before starting a new exercise regimen. Check with a doctor.
Ah.
So I said, warning. Our doctor's in prison, so you check with yours. I should probably also say it's former doctor. It was former before he went to prison for other reasons, but afterwards, definitely.
I wonder if they make him like help out in the medical facility of the hospital. I know a friend of mine from years and years and years ago. I haven't seen him in ages. His dad it was like a white collar thing. Like he was a doctor in in Illinois, and he, I guess, had done some insider trading or something like that. But he ended up going to federal prison. They took away his license. He's now a practicing registered nurse because you can do that, but. They as part of his plea agreement, he agreed to help out in the medical facility, if the doctors were out, because he was a licensed medical doctor at one point,
right?
So it wasn't like he could even though he did do surgeries, it's like he couldn't, but he could assist,
right?
And that lessened his sentence.
You know what, Raj? I don't know if they have him. I don't know what job they have him performing in federal prison.
I hope it's relieving congested balls.
How congested are we talking?
Backed up all the way.
Oof, might need to call Brooks Plumbing in.
And people thought a proctologist was the worst job.
No, prison plumber. I think we found the one job Mike Rowe would not do.
And I think we've coined a new phrase called prison plumber.
Certainly we could not be the first to come up with that.
I think we are. I don't think we should
I
be
think
proud
you're
of
just-
it, but
I think you're just hoping that we are.
okay, we have to ask our audience now if they've ever heard the term prison plumber, because wow, that is fantastic. That made my day. Like, that was great.
Well, it actually it is an interesting question when you think about it, because as a prison, you're obviously a self-contained facility, right?
Yeah.
And you have inmates from all walks of life, typically,
Yeah.
other than criminal.
Yes.
Some of them may have had a day job to coincide with their night criminality. I don't know. So it kind of makes sense that you have some doctors. Certainly, lawyers are in prison. It
Mhm.
makes sense if there's a plumber in there, as opposed to imagine being a Brooks Plumbing, a regular, normal plumbing, family-friendly plumbing company,
Yeah.
and you get a call, and you get a call from Sunnyvale
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, we have some backed up pipes here." I
bet you
can't
do.
imagine. What's that, Trey?
Said, I bet you do.
So I can't imagine being a plumber and getting that call from the federal prison saying, "Hey, we have some backed up pipes here. Would you mind come take a look?" And if I'm the plumbing company, I'm not sure if I want to or not, because just from a branding standpoint, I don't know if I want my work truck in front of the prison. It just may look bad. On the other hand, prison dollars spend outside the walls, so I don't know.
Yeah, I would want to get the call and be like, and you walk in like you've got all your plumbing gear, you've got your tools and your snake and all that stuff, and they're like, you know, like so which pipes backed up? They're like, hey, Big Lou.
You got some guy going, I think you meant to call Backpage.
It's like, all right, but this is going to be time and a half. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
it makes
doing-
sense. It
he's
makes
doing
sense.
time.
You drove all that way. I mean, you don't want to have driven all that way for nothing.
Yeah, that is a prison plumber. I like it. Okay. Well, sometimes there's magic that happens on this show for absolutely no reason.
That
and I love
Raj, is the magic of the show. You have cracked the code, my friend.
All right. But I think it's a good idea, right? If you are like, if you were a teacher and something bad happened in your life, now you can go into prison. And I think if you were to teach, maybe that takes some time off of your. I don't know if they do that. If there's anybody that's a lawyer that's listening to the show or in the criminal justice or the corrections division, if that's a thing.
Well,
I'd
I
love
thought you were
hear
going
that.
to ask, is there anybody listening in the prison system? It's like, yes, Josh.
Yes, I
Yeah.
was about to say, I'm sure there are. Like,
That is also one of the great mysteries and magic and appeal of this show, and has been now for many, many years, is that we appeal to both criminals and law enforcement alike.
Yes.
I know.
We will run the gamut.
And we've had both on the show simultaneously. So,
We have.
But I wonder if that's a thing. Well, because I think that would be kind of cool. Like if you were a licensed plumber or whatever, or an electrician, whatever, and you can go in because you can take classes to learn how. Like you can get your GED, you can get your associate's degree. Some people get a college degree or a law degree. If you can do that, if that would take time off your sentence, I think that would be kind of. I guess kind of atoning for your sins or whatever it is.
Well, yeah, and also kind of like being a football coach. Put your players in the best position to succeed. So if you're a prison, it's like, okay, do we have anyone in house that was a plumber?
You didn't even hear it when you said it.
No, I didn't. I really didn't.
When you're putting people in the best position to succeed.
I was on about a 2 or 3 second delay. As it left my mouth, I realized, oh yeah.
Because I just saw Trey's face and I was like, yeah, he got it. He knew
Yeah.
it.
Are they giving out copies of the Kama Sutra as part of your prison initiation?
No, Trey, that's for prison yoga. Namaste.
Namaste here for 35 years.
Now, downward facing inmate.
Plumber's here.
Gentlemen, we're off to a good start, and we haven't even read the first birthday yet.
Oh, here we go.
All right, today is Friday, September 8th, 2023. Birthdays today. He plays Dustin on Stranger Things, all seasons. That is Gatton Matarazzo. He is 20 today. So now when Stranger Things 4?
5.
Is it 5? So when the next season of Stranger Things comes out, I guess it's going to be the college years.
Wow.
Actually, no, I think it's going to be like some of the cast isn't coming back. So I think it's actually going to be like a prequel. That's what I read.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean,
so are they going to de-age the kids like they've done in so many other films recently?
I honestly, because last I read is what's her name who played, is it 11?
11. It's
yeah.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, she's not coming back.
Are you sure about that? Because I really have a hard time believing you can have a Stranger Things without her.
That's and I'm with you, and that's why I didn't understand even how they were going to go and do this.
It's called you pay her whatever she wants, and you fund the rest of her life, and for probably 2 or 3 generations of her offspring after her, and you do another season of Stranger Things. You know, you just make Netflix like half hers.
Yeah,
Never seen it.
Really?
Never.
All right, I'm officially starting a list of all the things you have not seen.
Before we got into where I was doing that thing before, where you guys would say something from Stranger Things and laugh, and then I would like laugh too. I'll just get it out of the way now. I've never seen one episode.
Don't look at it as getting it out of the way now. Look at it as what's it called, Trey? Being honest.
Oh yeah. But it was, that was I didn't want to feel left out when you guys were talking about like white kid Christmas stuff. Like, I didn't want to feel left out like I was growing up. So when you're like, oh, whatever's full, I'm like, that's hilarious. I remember that. And I didn't.
No, Raj, it's really good. I mean, it is worth a watch.
Now, I will say this. It is going to be different for Raj because, Trey, you and I, so part of the reason I think Stranger Things was a success at all was because it tugs at so many of us nostalgia-wise. But I don't know if Raj ever had that experience as a child, riding bikes around with your friends and trying to figure out who's kidnapping and murdering people.
No, I mean, we rode bikes, and there was the one scary lady on the corner. We all had her.
Okay.
And then we had the douchebag across the street who hated kids and didn't like people on his lawn, and so like. But
you know what? In that case,
Yeah.
you might be able to identify enough with the Stranger Things kids to kind of get into it.
Possibly. Let's. I mean, I will give it a shot. If I usually give a series that's weird. I'm not a big like fantasy, sci-fi, whatever this genre is.
We know what you like, Mr. 90210.
Yes.
Well,
big fan.
I mean, honestly, and a lot of it, takes place in an '80s mall, and I mean,
Okay.
there is no greater '80s mall than Town East.
Oh my goodness, that is true. If it was good enough for Vanilla Ice to hang out there,
Exactly,
it's good enough for you.
Yeah, it really is. When you think about all-time great malls, I don't think of the Mall of America. That was a novelty. That's not a real thing. That's a PR stunt.
Yeah.
You want to talk about real, authentic malls in America? It's Town East Mall.
That's right.
And if I can also be somewhat biased, I think it was called Washington Square or Washington Park Mall in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. That was my mall when I was in the single digits as a child. And that mall, even after, I don't even know if they ever stopped letting you smoke in that mall. You could probably still smoke in that mall now. But that one didn't even have 2 stories. It was one. Just one flat mall.
Town East was
Town East, on the other hand, that
3 stories. The third story was the food court, and it was also featured in the movie Logan's Run. I don't know if you remember that 1970s sci-fi.
I don't remember the scene in Logan's Run where they go to the weird Chinese food in the food court.
No, but it's the.
I don't remember Logan ever ordering like the number 4 at Panda Express.
I like how you think it was nice enough to have a Panda Express. No, it was featured in the movie Logan's Run because of its futuristic sci-fi design and its light-up steeple that it has outside.
I'm sorry, I have a hard time wrapping my brain around describing Town East Mall as futuristic design.
Oh, it was ahead of its time. It knew at some point that gang members would be too scared to go there. So it was like, but that's my hometown of Mesquite.
So anyway,
love it so much.
Gatton Matazzaro is 20 today. Again, he played Dustin on Stranger Things. Other birthdays today. Wiz Khalifa is 35.
Screw him.
What'd he do to you?
Black and Yellow.
Oh,
I hate that bleeping song because I hate bleeping Steelers fans.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, this is Trey working in a bar that played lots of football games on Sundays coming out.
And man, a Steelers fan will get on the jukebox and they'll beat you down with that damn song.
My favorite moment with Wiz Khalifa is I was actually performing in Dubai, and I was outside and I took a picture of the hotel, the Burj Khalifa, which is the tallest hotel.
The tallest building, right?
Tallest building in the world, and I put it next to Wiz Khalifa's mugshot, and I said the Burj Khalifa is not higher than Wiz Khalifa.
Well played. Randy Taylor on Home Improvement. That's one of the 3 boys. That is Jonathan Taylor Thomas. He is 41 today, so that'll make all of us feel nice and old. He was the one that was on the covers of all the Heartthrob magazines back in the 90s when those actually still existed. And he had somewhat of a career for a little while, and now not so much. Not really sure what he's up to now.
And he's not the one that constantly gets in trouble with like domestic violence and stuff like that, is he?
No, that was Brad. I think that Brad, the older son. I think he was the one that had those issues.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, he was. I remember who you're talking about now. I think he did a couple movies, and I think I think the big royalty and syndication stuff came in, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't need to work anymore."
For his sake, I hope he did get a chunk of those royalties. Other birthdays today. Remember last week when we mentioned had Brian Williams done birthdays on NBC Nightly News when he had that gig? People would have taken him less seriously. So therefore, when he lied about doing and saying, or when he lied about things that he did while covering the war, people probably wouldn't have been so shocked and surprised and would have been like, no big deal. And Raj, I believe it was you or Trey when you said, yeah, had he just told us that Pink was 30 today, then all would have been forgiven.
Mm-hmm.
Pink is 43 today.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. That's another magical part of this show. We have a tendency to just do things like that you never would. There's no way you can plan for it. You just throw out a random name of a celebrity, and the next thing you know, it's their birthday.
Wow.
Kennedy is 50 today. Did you know that Rolling Stone actually voted her the most hated MTV VJ of the 90s?
Yeah, she was so bad. She was so hard to watch. They were trying to. I think she would be what you would coin as the first emo. Like if they had a mascot, like if emo was a high school, like Kennedy would be their mascot.
I always figured I figured Kennedy. I didn't know what came first or who came first, Kennedy or Daria. But to me, Kennedy was like Daria, the cartoon,
Mhm.
as an MTV VJ.
Yeah, she was just so hard to watch, and now I think she's all like weird, like conspiracy theory something. Is that what she does now? I don't know.
No,
She's
she
on
actually
Fox News
Fox
now.
Business.
Oh yeah, she's on Fox News. So
Well, no,
it goes to
Fox,
show you.
Fox Business, I think, has more credibility.
Okay, okay. If you, I got you. If you say so.
I said more, not all. Martin Freeman turns 51 today. He played Bilbo Baggins in the Hobbit movies. He's Dr. Watson on the BBC's Sherlock. And he's also, if I remember this correctly, Martin Freeman is also in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He was in Wakanda Forever as the CIA agent who was in the Air Force.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, he was also I believe he's the only white character I have seen in the Marvel movies to actually do the Wakanda thing and not get his ass beat for it.
Yeah, I think if you're in the movie, you can
Like
do
the
it.
director, Ryan Coogler says, no, it's okay. You can do this. And yet he's still
No.
sitting like, I don't think I should.
No, that's when you turn to the cast and be like, "Can I?" And they're like, "We voted. You're good.
You're fine.
You're-
It's kind of like that day on set that I've read about a couple of times on the set of Django Unchained, where Leonardo DiCaprio stops and says like, hey, I don't feel so comfortable saying the N-word this much. To which Samuel L. Jackson turned to him and said, "MFer, this is just Tuesday to us.
Yeah.
Now get on with it." And that, like, when Samuel L. Jackson tells you now get on with it, it's like, okay, I guess I got my clearance.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah, that's when you know you can say it.
David Arquette turns 51 today. At this point, I think he may just be best known as Dewey in the Scream franchise. He also did some wrestling for a while. He was on the show a few years back, and that kind of got weird.
And he did Courtney Cox.
He married Courtney Cox.
Oh, I know. That's
I thought you said he dated her.
no, I said he did her.
Oh yeah, no, he did
that
that.
might be his best job.
He
his finest work.
Yes.
he is also still currently a wrestler. He does I think it's out of LA, like it's called Lucha something, like it's
Lucha Libre.
No, not the movie.
Well, no, that's
Nacho Libre.
Whatever it is.
No,
But
Lucha Libre is a form of Mexican wrestling.
Right.
Yeah. But
With
it's
the mask and
that.
everything.
It's I think it's Robert Rodriguez who did like Dust Till Dawn and all that.
Yeah.
I think it's his. I think he's an investor in this wrestling promotion in California.
Okay.
But he's still he does the extreme wrestling where he like light bulbs and chairs and like gets cut up and all that weird stuff. So
Jesus.
I think that's one of the reasons, if not for him just being insane, is what like kind of drove a wedge between him and Courtney Cox, is because he was doing like that weird stuff. And
I can see how that would make your partner a little.
Well, some celebrities are making money, doing a reality show about a soccer team, or they're playing pickleball and they're all making money and doing everything else. Here's David Arquette, who decided, I'm going to be a wrestler.
Yeah. Here's David Arquette cutting his own face with a broken light bulb.
Yeah. See, now, if you just reverse that and if you heard Ryan Reynolds do that, you'd be like, man, there's something wrong. But then you go, David
I would
Arquette.
watch that because my thinking is Ryan Reynolds will find a way to make that damned entertaining.
Yeah. But if you hear like, hey, man, David Arquette just, smacked himself in the face with a chair and then smashed a light bulb over his head, and you're like, yeah.
Makes
Sounds
sense.
about right.
Yeah, even TMZ would be like, we're not running that. That's too obvious.
Yeah.
Brooke Burke also turns 51 today. She's the former Dancing with the Stars co-host. She also won the 7th season. Amy Mann, lead singer of Till Tuesday, is 62. David Steele from Fine Young Cannibals and the English Beat is also 62 today. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders is 81 today. And he will live forever thanks to that meme of him at the inauguration sitting there cold, legs crossed with his mittens.
He was adorable.
And finally, as far as the living birthdays today, Willie Tyler is 82 today. He was a ventriloquist of Willie Tyler and Lester fame.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Really? You
Yeah.
know who Willie Tyler the ventriloquist is, but you have not seen Stranger Things, Goonies, or Christmas Vacation.
That is correct. When I was a wee lad, and I knew I wanted to be in the entertainment business.
So when you were ventriloquist dummy size?
Yes, I actually went door to door and I sold. Remember the back of the comic books where you could go like sell stuff and you get points and you can like get it for like a fishing pole or a kayak, whatever all that stuff was. You could get like these prizes. I got a ventriloquist dummy because I wanted to learn. I wanted to be in entertainment in some way, and I got my dummy and they gave me the thing on how to do like how to talk without moving your lips, and it was like, yeah, I can't do that, and that was the end of my ventriloquism days. But So
what you're saying is, if you could have just mastered the speaking without your lips moving thing, you would have been the Indian Jeff Dunham.
Yeah.
Except your dummy would have been a white guy.
Now there are just two of them.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
This segment of the Treehouse is brought to you by Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. Their phone number, 833-COOK-DFW. That's 833-COOK-DFW. The website, cookdfw.com. Give them a call for a free roof inspection. That's Cook DFW, 833-COOK-DFW, cookdfw.com. Sorry, I'm still imagining young Raj playing with a ventriloquist dummy.
Yeah, and it was a lot of stuff that I sold to get a very, very poorly made like clown. It was a clown dummy. It like had the little yeah.
Oh
yeah.
God, this is now it's turning into a horror franchise.
Yeah.
See, I have no issues with clowns. I think they're fantastic.
I'm not afraid of them, but they are creepy.
They bring joy to so many.
Not anymore.
But yeah, that's what. And it had the string, and it did the whole thing, and you could move the head and the eyes, and then it had like a little instruction thing on how you certain letters you pronounce differently because you can't move your lips. So like V's and F's and all that stuff, and I just couldn't. Like I would try in the mirror, and I gave it like a solid 2 weeks of like every day like trying. And I could see my own lips moving. I'm like, there's no way I will be a successful entertainer. They will see, they will not believe that it is the dummy talking. And so I was like,
So what was your dummy's name?
It was just clown because I was like, I have to master this first before I give him a name, before I could take the stage with the routine.
So did you practice in front of dog?
No, dogs. My dog was Dusty at the time. We had dog names because they had personalities. This was just my clown, and I was like, when I get my act and I get my jokes, and like I was gonna do the setups and he was gonna do the punchlines. Like that was the whole idea.
Oh, that's pretty smart. For how old were you?
I was 8. I was 8 years old.
Unfortunately, now I feel like you're just doing the same thing, except Trey and I are the dummies.
I actually.
Yes, Trey.
I
You take issue with my statement?
No, not at all. In fact, I'll be the poster child of it. But no, I was actually curious because Raj talked about something. I think it was last show about it. I don't remember what, but talking to your parents and saying, I'm going to do this, and they're like, I'm going to kill you. Yeah. How were they supportive of you when you told them you wanted to be a comedian?
No.
Oh, okay.
My mother cried. My mother cried the same amount of tears as when I told her that I wasn't going to med school. The exact same reaction. She's like, what am I supposed to tell everybody? Everybody else's kids are doctors. I was like, well, when they start paying my bills, I'll go to whatever school they want me to go to. But I was also working for them. So there was no like, it's like, hey, I want to be a comic. It's like, cool, make sure. And this was, I was like, I want to do this full time. They're like, that's great. You make sure you're at the office at 8:30. And so as long as I did my job, it was okay for me to go do this quote hobby. And it's when the hobby started taking up more time and started making money is when my mom was like, if you want to go part time, I was like, you got to fire me. Like I'm not coming in. Like I would, I would go to work at like, I'd get there at like 10:30. I would take lunch at noon and I would leave at 3. Like that was, and I would,
That's a good
and I
job.
would,
Yeah.
and I,
You sound like
and
you sound like a program director of a radio station that a few of
Are,
them.
are your parents hiring?
Yeah.
I would and I would have them adjust my check for the full 40 hours. Like I'm like, hey, I was still working because we had now had cell phones. So I'm like, I took calls in the car, and they're like, well, I mean, can't prove I'm wrong. And
So you were doing remote work before it was cool.
yeah, and I mean, I was still kind of doing, but I would like do my job on the way to the open mic. And then like 5:30 would hit, and they would, hey, can you work a little bit extra? No. But I would, but I would still make them give me 40 hours. And one day, my dad, I got there at 10:30, and I was leaving at 11:30 to go meet a buddy of mine in Denton. And my dad's like, we can't. He's like, I love that you're passionate about this, but I can't keep paying you for this. I was like, please, God, fire me. And he's like, how? You own 1/4 of this company. And I was like, just take it. I don't want it. He's like, okay, just don't tell your mom. And I was like, where do you?
I like how you're both afraid of your mother.
Yeah, and it was like, so get up and get dressed like you're, and he's like, and then go F off and go somewhere else and do whatever you got to until you're open mic. And that went for months before she's like, hey, Steve, one of the old employees, like, he said you haven't been in the office in 3 months, and I'm like, what?
Well, at least you knew who Steve was.
Yeah, I was like, he drinks a lot, Mom. and then the walls came crumbling down, and she was just like, I can't believe we've been paying you every week for the last 3 or 4 months, and you haven't been in that office once. I was like,
I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall to see the conversation she had with your father after you.
oh yeah, no, we were there, like we were both there, and she's like, did you know about this? And he's like, well, what? And he did, he legitimately, like, and I loved him for it, because he was like, when he said don't tell your mom, and she found out, he looked at me like, I'm going to throw you under this bus. And it was like,
and then back up.
Yeah. He's like, how dare you have been lying to us this whole time? And I'm like, I know, I'm a piece of crap.
I'm just the worst.
They got those checks cleared, but I appreciate I won't do it again.
Speaking of not wanting to do something again, a Delta Airlines flight from Atlanta to Barcelona was forced to turn around last Friday after a significant medical issue on the plane.
Is that what they're calling it? Significant medical issue now?
Well, at least according to USA Today, that's how they're referring to it for the moment.
Gotcha.
Or at least in the first part of the story.
Is this like one of these where someone had a heart attack?
Oh, okay.
You know what? It would not surprise me if someone had a heart attack in the aftermath of this situation, because it would have been probably a preferred escape from the situation. I'm going to
or what they might have called a full flight.
This was indeed a full flight. So I'm going to let the pilot here tell you basically what happened on this flight that forced them to turn around last Friday.
Negative. It's just a biohazard issue. We've had a passenger who had diarrhea all the way through the airplane, so they want us to come back to Atlanta.
Oh,
Negative. It's just a
In case you missed it the first time.
Negative. It's just a biohazard issue. We've had a passenger who had diarrhea all the way through the airplane, so they want us to come back to Atlanta.
Wait.
Yep.
Did
Take
you
your
just
time.
say wait? That's probably what the passenger was saying.
All throughout the plane?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes it sound like, they were having fun with it and running down the aisles, and
I don't think joy was being had, but now
Which
keep
is
in mind,
unfortunate because you think there'd be at least one person having a good time.
But keep in mind, Trey, this was 2 hours into the flight. So when he said we're coming back to Atlanta, they turned the plane around to now full plane of diarrhea. Now is going 2 hours back to Atlanta, as opposed to the next 9 hours to Barcelona. But still.
right.
Yeah, I can't imagine there would be any happy passengers on that flight unless that flight just happened to be carrying the two girls from the Two Girls, One Cup video.
They wouldn't even have had to turn around.
They just would have cleaned it off.
Looked like Pac-Man going down the aisle.
I'm laughing, but I also need to throw up.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
This segment of the Treehouse is brought to you by Brooks Plumbing. 214-368-3838. That's 214-368-3838 for any and all of your plumbing wants and needs. The website, brooksplumbingtexas.com. Still have a couple of other stories. I actually got like 5 or 6, and I know we'll never get to, and I'm just trying to decide, do we do that? Do we do a couple of those, or...
Yeah.
Trey, what was the story you were telling me about the other day? An SMU student getting busted with a fake ID. I don't feel like that was really newsworthy. I feel like that's just any given night in Dallas.
And normally, yes, you would be correct. So this girl, and the key to this story is she's with her parents. And if you're not familiar with the laws in Texas, if you're with your parents, and I think it's pretty much this way anywhere, if you're underage, and as long as you're in their presence, you can drink, you can come in, whatever.
I wish I knew that back in the day. I would have been like, Mom, come on, let's go.
Now, here's another part of the law of in Texas under TABC law. If a door guy, bouncer, whatever, anyone, if they know you have a fake ID, you cannot be on the premises, because then no one knows if you're of age, underage, whatever. You're not to be let in. So, mom and dad come up with their daughter. They ask our door guy, "Hey, our daughter's with us. She's underage, but is that cool? Can she come in?" He goes, "Sure." But they check everyone's ID. Got the parents' ID. Check dad. Check mom. Daughter then whips out quite proudly and gives the door guy a fake ID. Says she's over 21.
After they had just had the conversation in front of her, saying that it's okay for her to drink as long as she's with her parents.
Yes. And this was, it went into the details of, yes, she can come in and drink. They have to be, has to be in your eyesight at all times. You have to order the drinks, blah, blah, blah.
Yet she still handed over a fake ID to the door guy.
Yes.
The reason why the reason why I'm asking you these questions, because I want to make sure I am absolutely clear at just how stupid she is.
Oh no, yeah, no, it's every bit of stupid as you're thinking. And literally, it was like watching the dad, it was like watching the 5 stages of grief just flash over him in 7 seconds. It's like denial. I can't believe my daughter is this bleeping stupid. Anger. You are so bleeping stupid.
What's the next one?
Bargaining. My daughter cannot be this stupid.
Please make her smarter, and we'll go away.
And then just sadness of my daughter is that stupid. And then acceptance of looked at her and goes, thank God she's pretty.
I thought it might have been his own acceptance by realizing I can't believe I sired a moron.
I think that was part of it. I mean, I think he probably had a hint before this, and this was just the cherry on top of my daughter's a moron.
Yeah, I feel like as a parent, you know if you have a stupid kid.
Yeah, but that's when you turn and go, how did you get into SMU?
Oh, I think Dad knows how she got into SMU. Because I think Dad's having to pay more than just tuition to get that idiot into school.
I suspect Dad and his financial planner know exactly how she got into SMU.
You pulled an A&M stunt at an SMU campus. Like, that's what you just did.
That really is. Yeah, that's. You want to go someplace where they have that stuff down to a science as far as getting into places with fake IDs and all sorts of things. You go to Tech.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you go to my alma mater, Southwest Texas. That's what you would know if that was the case. If the parents would have broken out their fake IDs at the same time. Like, there we go.
You know what? It's so ironic that you mentioned that, Raj, because I had one fake ID way back in the day, and it wasn't even a fake driver's license. It was a fake college ID to Southwest Texas.
I'm pretty sure 32,000 students on that campus did too.
I think that was part of the admissions packet.
It's just on a lanyard. Here you go.
It comes with a beer bong. I don't know. This is weird.
But the good news is you can give those things to the new student at orientation, like when the parents are helping them move into the dorm and everything, because the parents know it's Southwest Texas. They know.
Of course. I'm like, there's in our quad, they have a beautiful bronze statue of two horses with two Native Americans on horseback. Like
I thought you were gonna say horse.
No, well,
Southwest. That's
just
Super Bowls.
That was in front of our fraternity house, but that was different. But it was
they have a display there.
But it's two Native Americans on horseback, and it's this beautiful bronze statue. And in one of the things that you got at orientation was like myths and sayings and whatever at Southwest Texas, and it said that if I'm not even making this up, it said if a virgin graduates from Southwest Texas State, the horses will sprout wings and fly away. I was like, I'm going to school here. My mom's like, where are you planning on going to med school? I'm like, do you think I'm going to med school? The horses just flew away.
At that point, that's when you tell Mom, I'll go to med school when those horses fly away.
That's exactly right.
Because I've got a better chance of getting into med school.
I have a better chance of showing up to med school on one of the horses.
It's just like a complete alternate reality at that point.
Yeah. I miss that school.
Oh, that was always, I mean, and I really don't think I'm exaggerating when I say at the time, now this is in the 90s, 50% of the dancers at strip clubs came from San Marcos.
Yes.
And
as God intended it. And 50% of all strippers from San Marcos, and one original strain of chlamydia. That was ours. We had Southwest has it was 5 girls to every one guy. And then because of those spectacular odds and drinking and fake IDs, we had our own strain of chlamydia.
That's,
Yeah.
and Dan looks but dumbfounded, and I
My feed is not frozen. I am just stunned.
I thought you froze. I was like, wow, okay. I was like, I thought you froze, and I was like, oh, Dan's computer got it. Like, that's what happened. Yeah, so people would come from Austin. I know for a fact this happened to a couple of people it's like telephone, friends of a friend of a friend. So, but they would come down and party and have a good time over the weekend and float the river and meet chicks, and they'd go back to UT or A&M, wherever they were going, and things weren't going that well down south, like a little burning when you peed, and they'd go to their student medical center, and they'd be like, well, you got chlamydia, but it's Southwest Texas, so you gotta we got to get I don't know if it's the antidote. I don't know how it works, but it's like, is it
sort of like anti-venom? Like you have to like go to the source?
Yeah, I think, yeah. So you had to go to this school. You had to go to the Southwest Medical Center there and get your whatever protocol was for that strand of chlamydia. Yeah.
So not only did Southwest Texas have its own strain of chlamydia,
yes,
but it also had the franchise. It also had the monopoly of the cure for it.
Yes,
that's
because
a
we
hell of a racket.
we thought we would just keep it in house. We weren't expecting it to go rogue, as they say. Like, we weren't expecting it to head over to 26 miles up north to Austin.
I think clearly they didn't go to the Buffalo Club on Sunday nights.
Oh yeah. That was I probably that's the weird thing. I probably ran into you there. We used to go. It was a caravan. It was just like a bunch of my
chlamydia.
Brothers. Yeah, that's what you could call that distance between Southwest and
the chlamydia highway.
The chlamydia caravan. It was just all the strippers from the Yellow Rose, and then right behind them was just us, and we'd all get to the Buffalo Club in downtown Austin, and all look at each other like, "You're here too?" Like, we drove together. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, but I did run into a few times. We ran into Sandra Bullock and her sister out there. They used to come. It was service industry night on Sundays. Mm-hmm. So the service industry, we would bring the girls that would service the industry.
Would it be weird if you look at the table next to you and it's the Southwest Texas doctor?
just filling up syringes, like, you're gonna need me in about 3 days.
Yeah. He just handed out business cards. There you go. Just pulls open his appointment book. Is like, you want to just go make one now?
Yeah. In today's age, it really be funny if you just some doctor put one of those video boards that they put above a urinal and just looking down going, "Does it burn?"
Yeah.
Call me.
Have you been to Southwest Texas State recently? I think it's pretty amazing that even in the test, that the test would come back not just positive for chlamydia, but for the specific strain from Southwest Texas.
Trust me, at Southwest, that was going to be one of the only tests somebody passed. Trust me.
It's one of the only tests given.
You know what? I just looked out the window and saw a horse. I'm going to go now. Never did get to those other news stories.
What a shocker.
Yeah. Be sure to enjoy all things Treehouse. Listen, watch, follow, subscribe. Check the box on a questionnaire at the Buffalo Club, whatever it is. All things Treehouse. TreehouseOnAir.com. Social media at Treehouse On Air. For me, it's at the Dan O'Malley. For Trey, it's at Trey Trenholm1. And for Raj, it's at Comedian Raj. And also keep in mind, the Treehouse is open for business. TreehouseOnAir at gmail.com. See you next time in the Treehouse.
See you.